What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another solo leveling Arise video. Alright guys, real quick, shout out to Ryan for sending me this. A new code is out. That's right, a new code for 1,000 free Essence Stones, so make sure you use this. That's VOREARAN01, sorry. And if you use this, it will get you guys free 1,200 Essence Stones, as a matter of fact, which will help a lot of you guys, including myself on the free-to-play account, to get yourself another summon. Now, with that being said, I do want to talk a little bit about gems and what gems are going to be used right now for, and which ones are the meta currently, okay? Now, we're going to talk about two different things. The best combat power versus the meta, all right? There's two very big differences here, and I want to highlight both. First thing I want to talk about also in the live stream, they did mention, for anyone who's having problems with the fusion of tier 5 gems, and if you're getting bad luck, it seems that the discussion, this is what the devs had to say. It seems that the discussion about tier 5 gems are starting to surface. However, apart from the high level hunters, the supply rate of tier 5 gems is still insufficient. While it's not an urgent issue, we do agree on the need for improvement. We'll make sure to share our direction on this matter in the Lex live stream. Okay, so things to note about tier 5 gems. If you don't know already, I made a video on this. They are RNG based in regards to what you get from them. Okay, so you guys can see here, for example, this one here, this tier 5 gave me 1,260, while this one here give me 1,450. So tier 5 gems, in fact, do have a built-in RNG in them, and they will depend on what you get for your RNG in regards to the results. You guys can see a lot of these are 1450s, but there are chances to get yourself the lower end ones, like 1160, for example. So keep that in mind. Now, let's talk a little bit about the meta. All right. Now, what here is considered the ones you want to put in there versus the ones you should have in there, the ones that'll give you the most amount of power. Okay, so first off, just you are aware, the mission challenge is still going on, and right now, one of the biggest in terms of points you can get is in fact clearing the battlefield of chaos. Okay, it gives you 100 points per battlefield of chaos. So this is a great time to actually be collecting gems and also maximizing your gem output, plus using the fusion system to use them. Now, if you don't know what the fusion system is or how it works, I'm going to simply explain this to you guys. Fusion allows you guys to fuse your tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, all the way up to tier 4 to turn them into tier 5. Okay, so the gem system here, this is it right here. And if you go to fusion, right over here on the bottom, you have the ability now to fuse gems. Now, what I would recommend personally is try to do as many of these as you can. Get rid of your tier 1s. Now, if you're brand new, the whole goal here is to, in fact, to fill out your whole board. Fill it up completely until you have all 8 gems in each slot, right? Because if you go back to the gem system, a lot of you guys may be fusing before you're actually completing. So complete the 8s all the way across the board. That's the most important thing first. Open up your entire board and then start the fusion process after the fact, because it's better to have all the stats available than not having any stats and just randomizingly having the fusion do the work for you. Don't do that. Fill it all up completely, and then of course start working on getting your fusions. Now, this is very important, okay? Every time you fuse, it's an RNG system, so you're not going to get the color you want. It's just random. So it is important to do as many of the battlefield of chaoses as you can and collect as many of these as you possibly can. You guys can see here, the system is very, very low in RNG, and it's not easy to get the gems you're looking for. So again, very important, guys. Like you see there, I got nothing, so now I can't even fuse, and then tier 5 I can't fuse. So it is very important, guys, to remember it is RNG based, and once you hit tier 5, the numbers are also RNG based. Okay, these numbers here can be, you can see how the little question mark there, it can be any of these percentages. Okay, so keep that in mind. The percentages are all listed down here: 3.2, 3.4, 3.6, 4.0, right? So you guys can check all the percentages there. Now, which gems matter? Let's start off with the ones that will give you the most combat power. I think that's the ones we should focus on first, because some of you guys will want to do that. Now remember, this is now combat power, not the meta. Okay, combat power, very important. So I'll go through each one of these for you guys and kind of list it through. So first one, let's start off with orange, which is probably the most important one. The most combat power you can get from here is in fact critical hit damage. All right, so if you're looking for just boosting your combat power, keep in mind it won't give you too much of a boost, but it's still a boost. So next in line will be defense penetration, and then lastly, the lowest one is precision. But the most important one here is in fact precision. Precision is all you want in this slot, and the reason why I have to still find one to replace this one. The reason why you want precision in here is because precision is one of the most highly sought after stats in the game that actually can't exist outside of duping your weapons and using the stats points. So you actually want precision in orange all the way across the board. Orange, yellow, whatever the hell you want to call it, guys. Gold, I don't care. Topaz, you pick the color name, but you know what I'm talking about. Precision is what you want across the board. All 8 gems should always be precision. Ideally, you will lose combat power, yes, but in this case, the trade-off is worth it because you'll do way more damage in the fight. Okay, precision is what you want in here. All right, now for this one, the purple one, this is of course one of the easiest ones to get CP, and it's actually speed. Speed will give you the most amount of combat power, believe it or not. Okay, so if I were to put any of these 3, right, you'll see right now. I'll show you for example, right. Let's just see 8.0, 1.3. Okay, so I'll use the lowest speed. Okay, we'll just replace this one here. This additional mana gem one. Watch this. If I change this, right, you'll see 131. Everybody gets a boost, right, in power right there, right? Now I'm going to go ahead and take this off now and put in additional mana. You're going to see that it will in fact drop. Okay, additional mana will drop me. Watch this. Oh, this one actually is a higher one. Sorry, this is actually a higher one. So if I were to use like the higher speed one, you'll see that it actually will boost. So that was a higher MP one, I think. Let me go back to the gems. Hold on. Let's go back to Fusion. We can see, I think 80 is actually pretty high. So if I go back to Fusion, right here, if I go to mana consumption, where's mana? Or sorry, additional mana, right here. 80 was the 3rd highest. No, so it was the 3rd highest. So that's why the gem was just actually higher. So if I were to replace that one, let's say with a higher end speed one, right? So if I went here, for example, and I replace, what is this one, 70? If I were to put the speed one in here, which is a much higher speed one, you'll probably see an increase in everyone. See right there. So speed actually does give you the most. If you were to go to like top end versus top end, speed gives you the most amount of combat power. But speed is actually pretty useless in this case. The most important one here actually is mana reduction, believe it. Mana consumption reduction is the most important one. So it gives you the least amount of power, unfortunately, again, but it is in fact going to give you the most amount of bang for your buck in terms of its usability. So you definitely, for the meta, you do want mana consumption, but unfortunately when it comes down to the meta, speed will give you the most amount of power. So again, for power, it's speed. For meta, you want mana consumption. You don't have to put additional MP if you don't want to. You can usually fill that up with gear and cores, but MP consumption is definitely the purple one that you want in here, in my opinion. It has the most value out of all of them. So very important to remember that. All right, now for the greens. Greens are another one that's pretty big. So the green, the most amount of power you're going to get is going to be damage reduction. Damage reduction gives you easily the most amount of power. All right. Second in line is going to be additional defense. That's the one you want actually to replace all of your percentage ones. All these percentage ones are the worst ones you can have. So you definitely do want to replace additional percent with additional defense. That one's actually going to be the meta in terms of what you want. I'm going to take this one out just because I want that defense anyways. Defense percentage is still better than damage reduction for overall stat purposes. Okay. So I am going to replace this. Okay, you guys will see here, of course, it's a big one, so it'll increase it, but the most amount of power you can get is these green damage reductions. Again, that's for combat purposes, okay, for combat power purposes, but the one you actually want filling in all of these is going to be these additional defense ones, and if you have no choice but to have these green ones, it's also not a bad one. This 4% is actually the highest you can get, so that's why these are worthwhile having, but definitely additional defense is the meta in terms of what you want in here, okay, so definitely focus on that. All right, now, reds are unique. Reds, because it all depends on who you want to focus on. All right, so there's additional attack here, which is going to help your hunters, but it's not going to help SJW as much. So this 3%, for example, versus this 260, if I were to replace this, it will go up a little bit. Watch, you'll see, but SJW loses power. You saw that, right? All the hunters gain power, SJW lost power. Okay, so that's the difference here. So it all depends on who you want to boost. If you're looking to boost your hunters, additional attack. If you're looking to boost SJW, then it's attack percentage. So this one is up to you, and it's up in the air in terms of what you're looking for. If you're struggling with hunter content, additional attack. If you're struggling with SJW content, you do attack percentage. Okay. And then of course the last one here, in terms of overall power, believe it or not, what gives you the most amount is actually healing given. Healing given gives you the most amount. In regards to the meta, it should be all percentage of HP. Right, you guys can see here 3%. If I were to place this, it will boost it, I think, right? But SJW again loses power. So, and it wasn't a big boost. So additional HP sucks for here. You actually want HP percentage. HP percentage is the meta. Most amount of power is healing given, believe it or not. Healing given gives you the most. So here for meta, HP percentage, in terms of CP, it's going to be healing given. All right, so there you guys go. That is the actual full-on meta versus what's best in terms of slots for This section, make sure you're doing your Battlefield of Chaos, guys, especially for the new event. It will get you guys what you need in terms of getting yourself the highest points to get yourself the faster unit for the SSR unit choice, which I chose Min, by the way, and then, of course, the SSR Hunter weapon. All right, folks, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.